My whole world was turned upside down this week when I saw Covenant at the Goodman. I've never seen anything like it. It is now playing in the Owen Theater at the Goodman.
Mhm.
It is a Southern Gothic thriller with more twists and turns than an M. Night Shyamalan film. It grapples with faith, prayer, deep, dark secrets. I mean, we're talking deep, dark secrets. And the notion that if there is a God, then there has to be a devil. And I am thrilled and honored to welcome playwright York Walker right now. And hopefully, director Melkia Stampley will be joining us. But right now, I've got York Walker. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Literally, oh my God. Um, you're really good at your job, York.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Holy
much.
smokes. Like this show shook me. My husband and I are we lived in Memphis. So we've like and he's from Mississippi. So he's got a very, very deeply rooted Southern sensibility. And I have been
Yeah.
with him for 22 years, so that's kind of rooted onto me now. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
Holy smokes! Like it, I could not leap to my feet faster than
Oh,
at the end of that
thank
show.
you.
So thank you so much for an evening of just incredible theater. How
Oh,
how
thank
did
you.
the story of this play come to you?
Yeah, it's a little random because I was driving for Lyft out here in LA back when I was acting, and I got this image in my head that just popped into my head of this girl in like a blue dress with pockets on the front, and she was surrounded by darkness. And I was bored because I had like an hour to get back to LA. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe if this is a play, like where could she live? And then I was like, okay, well, the dress seemed a little like it wasn't modern. So I was like, okay, this fits like The Color Purple. Maybe it takes place in the town that The Color Purple takes place in. And then a couple months later, I remembered the myth of Robert Johnson and him selling his soul to the devil to get his musical talent. And so I was like, I wonder if these two things live in the same world. And so I decided to write a play that had sort of both of those elements. And so that girl with the pockets surrounded by darkness is the first image of the play. So it's very cool to be able to sit down in a theater and see this thing happen in front of you that just popped into your head years ago.
Yeah, yeah, I can only imagine. And so, for folks out there listening, I'm doing a horrible job explaining the play, but I don't want to explain it too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but let's just say, so we're talking 1930s, rural Georgia. You have a mama.
Yeah.
It's just no. You have Mama and her two like of age daughters and their friend who lives down the way with their grandmother. Grandmother's probably
Yes.
not the best kind of caretaker, so she's over at their house a lot. And then
Yes.
a handsome stranger. Oh, he comes back who's been gone from the town for 2 years. He had a
Yes.
stammer and he couldn't play guitar, and now he comes back and he can sing and he can play the guitar really well. And now everybody thinks that he sold his soul to the devil. That's where it
Right.
starts.
Right.
Okay. Like,
Yes.
but then throughout the play, that's not where we're going. Or we think, who
Mhm.
knows? Throughout the play, the characters reveal their secrets. You start out like again with the character, I believe Ruthie, who comes out and
Yes.
she says, "Do you ever have a secret that is so deep that it just burns inside of you?"
Mhm.
I'm telling you, this play has really messed me up. Like it stayed with me. It has stayed with me.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, yes. So, but the secrets they break the fourth wall and they talk to the audience, but they share it as a story. And if I'm remembering correctly, most of these secrets are in third person.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
For me, those, well, where it came from was originally what I wanted to do structurally is have the play take place through each of the characters' different perspectives.
Hmm.
And so they would sort of happen in sections. And it just didn't work for what I wanted to do with the play. But what stayed from that was these sort of interludes, I call them, of sort of monologues where the characters get to reveal to the audience their deepest, darkest secret, but they're still not able to say it's me.
Mm.
And so there still is some distance. And so that's why they do it in the third person. And so you're not quite sure if they're talking about themselves or somebody else, but it's a way that they can sort of protect themselves in the way that we do when we have something that we haven't put out into the air yet.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I'm like, I'm smart.
Okay.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got
Got
it.
it.
You know, because it really is like these stories. Like, what a perfect setting to have this show in the Owen Theater, which is like an intimate space. And yet, like, you're dealing with themes that are almost like Greek drama. Like they're big. I mean, these are big secrets, and you could tell that like when a character is revealing the secret in the third person, there's a little bit of distance there, so it's easier for you to share the story if it's not I, it's she,
Right.
or he,
Right.
So I am curious, York. I'm a blues musician myself, and I'm curious about your knowledge of, there's been in blues mythology these stories of deals made for talent or fame, over the years.
Yeah.
What brought you to those stories? How did you know about Robert Johnson? Because I can look at your face here on Zoom and I see you're a young man. And as somebody who's older and as a blues musician, I'm always fascinated by how younger people are tuned into the blues, legends and the mythology surrounding it. How did you get involved in it? What's your understanding?
Yeah, I think where I first heard about it was in an August Wilson play, which, funnily enough, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom by August Wilson was just done at the
Yes.
Goodman.
Yeah.
And so I got a chance to see it, and they talk about a Robert Johnson-ish character where there's somebody that is making deals with the devil and he's a musician or something. So I think it was from that. It was from reading and seeing Ma Rainey's Black Bottom in college that I don't know. I think that story just sort of stuck with me in my head. And as I was thinking of this, because I wanted to figure out how to write horror on stage and have Black people be at the center of it. And I was trying to figure out how I could do that. And a lot of the horror that we get for Black stories, the horror comes from white people and the tragic things that have happened in our country's history, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's so much that is within Black culture that doesn't have anything to do with that is terrifying. And so that is one of those things, Black people, I think, universally don't mess with the devil. And so I think there
It
is
fits
a
right
level
in.
of, yeah, it just seemed to work. And even as I was writing the play, I there's a reason that there's no intermission because I didn't want anybody to have the ability to leave.
Yeah.
And I had to temper it to make sure that it was uncomfortable, but also watchable for Black audiences because I could push this play a little further, but I don't think anybody would sit and watch it.
Okay. Thank you. Can I thank you in advance because I haven't seen it yet? But yeah, I appreciate that.
Like
Thank you for that.
the structure of the play, like it is such a well-crafted script, like the way that you set it up, the art of misdirection, like we're going this way, oh but wait, no, we're gonna go over here, wait a second, and the breaks where the characters like talk to the audience. How long were you playing around? Like, were you here I know this had to run in New York. Were you in Chicago for rehearsals for this?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah. And so I was there for the first week of rehearsal, and then I came back for previews through opening.
Okay.
So I had to, I'm based in LA right now, so I had to come back to LA. So it was incredible to be able to be in the room. It's honestly my favorite part of all of this is being in the room with actors and be able to say, when they have questions, be like, okay, well, this is what I was thinking in my mind. Or if they have questions and I'm like, well, what do you think? It's theater is a collaborative art. And so to be able to, build this production from the ground up with the actors and with Malkia, who's an incredible director, and our design team.
Yeah, look, y'all were every single person involved with that production was telling the same story. Malkia's direction is like stop. And like the design, like the set costumes, sound, the sound, like
Yeah.
there is not a false step in this entire production. That first week of rehearsals, when you saw
Hmm.
this cast,
Yeah.
did your mouth just kind of go gunk? Like, because holy smokes, all of them stars,
They're
all of them.
they're amazing. They're really amazing. And I think I was sometimes because the play is published now after the original production in New York. And so sometimes theater will just they will do it and you don't get to be involved as the playwright because
Right.
it's like they do their own version.
Mm.
And the Goodman was kind enough to let me be a part of this process. And so I was in the auditions for all of them
Oh,
on Zoom.
wow.
Mm.
So I had, and also, I'm from Chicago, so I had to make sure that the production was right for the hometown crew. So
Indeed.
and
Good.
so
Smart. Yeah.
when we were in previews, and the actors are tired because you're rehearsing during the day and then doing a show at night, and they're like wondering, is this working? Am I doing it right? I had to tell them, I was like, listen, all of you are here for a reason. If you could not play these parts because they're very difficult, it's a hard play and it's very difficult to play these roles, you would not be here. And they were like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, I trust you because they know it's a hard play. It's
Yes.
a tough
Well,
tough thing to do 8 times a week. Yeah.
yeah, and because it goes back and forth, like I was saying earlier about there's an intimacy, but then you've got this like Greek drama sort of like largeness to it. Um, there, there's one scene in particular that really, like, for me, gr- oddly enough, I'm realizing this as I'm saying it. Oddly enough, it grounded everything
Mm,
and set the stakes so clearly. And it was the moment where mom and the daughters are anointing themselves with oil and the prayer scene.
mhm.
In that moment, like I'm a good Episcopalian boy. We have our own little calisthenics of sit down, stand up,
Right.
kneel, fight, fight, fight kind of
Mhm.
thing. Um, in this scene, it really just like it cements like I know who these like I get who these people are and
Yeah.
how like what the stakes are for this family. Is that written into the script or how did Malkia and the actors were you a part of that process of putting that sequence together because you've got blues music as well as this you've got this the devil's music
Yeah.
and you've got this like ecstatic prayer happening.
Yeah, it is in the script. I will say
Hmm.
this is the version of the show that has sort of built that moment out in such a really beautiful way, where it's
Oh,
like a whole moment, and that's Malkia, the director, and Tor, our associate director and our movement person. They built that with the actors. And so it took some time to like different drafts of what it could look like and how sort of that prayer, we call it the prayer
the ritual.
ritual
Hmm.
moves in and out of Johnny at the juke joint playing the blues music and how those two things work together and how they influence each other in terms of the history of how gospel music and blues and all of those things are mixed together, but also in terms of the ritual nature of I think there's something interesting about it's the Holy Spirit is sort of moving through them, but
Hmm.
also if we're looking at it in that light, it could be like what is moving through them. It could look like something else, and so it's just I think the way that Malkia directed it is just a beautiful melting pot of all of those things, and all those
Yeah,
things go through
I
as
I
you're watching.
I could not breathe. I literally was like, I
Mm.
am leaning forward. I am just watching like this moment again. Mama, Angie
Yeah,
White, Angie
she's
White,
incredible,
Angie
incredible.
White. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say her name over and over again
I,
until all of Chicago. Like,
I have a quick question for you here,
sorry.
York.
Yeah.
The play's about secrets. Is there a harmless secret you could share that people would be surprised about you?
Um, I I kind of already shared this before, but York is not my first name.
Oh,
And
Okay.
so So people, so people are a little
Mhm.
shocked when they hear. So my full name is Alan York Walker. So York was my grandfather's first name,
Oh,
and so my parents were kind of like, "Oh, well, maybe he'll use it when he's older." And in high school, one of my friends found out my middle name was York and just started calling me York, and I hated it.
mm.
But when I was an actor and I graduated from college, I tried to do the Alan York Walker, but the three name thing also didn't feel right. But I was like, York Walker
Mhm.
feels like you can put that up on a marquee. That
Oh yeah,
feels like,
Okay.
it's
it
sexy.
feels like it
It's
got
sexy. It's got
a little star power
yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But
I like that little secret. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing
yeah.
that.
Well, so and you also, like, as you said, you are like a Chicago's very own.
Yeah.
Was this your first play that was produced here?
Yeah. Yes,
I
it has been incredible because the journey of the play, well, first, this is the first play that ever got produced. So this is the play that made people realize, oh, he's a playwright and
mhm.
not just an actor.
Yeah.
I've since retired from acting, but
No.
yeah, yeah.
Really? You'll never do it again?
Yeah.
Never say
Well,
never.
never say
I
never.
never say never, but I think I always tell people I feel like I was a good actor. I was solid,
Hmm.
but I feel like I have more to contribute to theater and to the world as a writer
Okay.
than I did as an
We'll
actor.
accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this production, this almost didn't happen. So originally it was supposed to be with Paramount Theater in Aurora. And about a week and a half before rehearsal, they
Yeah.
lost about $1 million of
Yeah,
funding. And so
Oh
the production
wow.
was
that's
canceled.
right. Yeah, they moved
And
it to Goodman.
so it was the same cast, it was the design team and the director, and we were all just sort of like heartbroken because we were about to, do this thing and it was going to be home in Chicago. And Malkia also works at the Goodman as a producer. And it just so happened to work out where they were able to pick up the production. So
Um.
the
Oh,
way all of this has worked out to
Hmm.
be able to premiere my first play that sort of launched my career as a writer at the Goodman has been absolutely incredible.
I can only imagine, and especially with your, I read I like to read the program before I see the play, so I was
Yes.
reading the playwright's notes, and about like, and your dad saying like, you got to do something in Chicago. I can sell some tickets for you, and
Yeah.
I
you were
love that.
sitting a couple rows ahead of me on opening night, and I believe was that your dad with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
My dad and my mom and my
Aw.
two best friends were on the right of me. It was incredible. And also, like 2 nights before that, my dad's a judge. He invited 40 judges and like 20 family members. And so there was like
Oh
a
no.
judge night at the Goodman.
I
Oh
love it. I
God.
love it.
Passing judgment that's going on.
What are you working
Yeah.
on now? What can you kind of give us a sneak preview of what we might see from you in the future?
Yeah, so I'm working on a commission for the Goodman. So it's gonna be about James Hemmings. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
The
No.
name is familiar.
Mm-mm.
So his sister is more famous, Sally Hemings, who Thomas Jefferson
Oh yeah,
was,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
was
There we go. Hmm.
enslaved. So James is her brother, and James went to Paris with Thomas Jefferson, was also enslaved by him, and became a chef in Paris, a French chef. And
Oh.
so the legend is he's the reason that we have mac and cheese in the States. And he's this figure that nobody knows about. And so we're writing a play about him, and hopefully we'll put it up at the
About
Goodman.
mac and cheese, the
Fantastic.
origin of mac and cheese.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Could make great
Down that.
theater.
You could,
Yeah.
but so I'm just hoping that this show gets extended because it should run forever and ever and
Oh.
ever. That's what I'm
Thank you.
hoping for. Um, but York, when people run and not walk to go see Covenant at the Goodman, what do you hope people leave with? Because something's gonna stick on you.
Yeah.
When you leave. Like
Yes.
it did. I was just like, oh, go. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think I try not to prescribe what people should take away from it because you're going to take away something different
Yeah.
depending on what you bring to it. I think that if you have a religious background, you're going to have one experience. If you don't have a religious background, you'll have another experience. But I always hope that people feel seen by my work, and that they feel like they went on a journey. My thing is like, as a theater lover, is that if I'm gonna get up out of my bed and, put on clothes and go down to a theater and sit
Hmm.
and watch something live, I want it to be a worthwhile experience where I experienced something that was surprising and engaging. And so to be able to sit and watch Covenant with audience and watch audiences watch Covenant, it seems like that's happening. And so that's the most gratifying and fulfilling thing.
1000%. Like again, I cannot say Paramount's loss is like it was Chicago's gain. Like, sorry, Aurora, like thank goodness, because let me tell you, you have seen nothing like it. You will be blown away by the performances, by the brilliant direction, by the craft of the storytelling. Every element of this production is just pitch perfect. So I just want to thank you, for putting this out into the world, but thank you for taking time out today to join us, because it really. It's staying with me. All of my coworkers hate me right now because I cannot stop talking about it. So yeah. So
Well, thank you so much.
again, thank you. Look, do not miss playwright York Walker's Covenant, deftly directed by Malkia Sampley. It's now playing through May 31st at the Goodman. For tickets, go to goodmantheater.org, and that's theater with an R-E because they are fancy that way.
Yes.
York, Alan.
Yeah.
Alan York.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again. And so I cannot wait to see.
I cannot wait to see this.
I can't
I'm
wait to see
thrilled.
what else you do. But your next thing is coming down because I am now a huge fan. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Enjoy the day.
Thank you. Thank you.
And look out for any red envelopes. Just laying around.
Okay.
There you go.